right, everybody. It's been a while. Been a couple weeks for me, and I have to make sure you guys have something to listen to. All 5 of my friends have become very dedicated, and they want to make sure that they don't miss a show. We're doing something really quick. What I'm trying to do is jump right in and finish up what we were talking about last time. I started to tell you guys how the company I was working for in Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, packed up and moved to Los Angeles. And that was going to be just horrible for me because I was going to have to drive 2 hours a day just to get to work. But then something dawned on me. I'm going to L.A. What if I can get an agent or something so that I can stay in L.A. and go to auditions or something? Because here's the cool thing about this job I had. It wasn't really flexible, but at the same time, if I needed to go somewhere, my boss was really cool and he would let me go do it. And I would already be in L.A., piece of cake. So I worked from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. down in South Central Los Angeles, and here is what the cool thing happened. The people that are the group of investors that own this company were a bunch of lawyers, and they had a ton of money. One of the lawyers, a really nice guy, had a girlfriend at the time, and she found out, it wasn't that she found out, a little bird told her, meaning me, and I don't know how we came about it, but I had talked to her about, yeah, you know, she'd asked me, is this really what you want to do? Is this what you're doing data entry? And I said, no, I'm a musician, because I knew I really was a musician. Whereas an actor, everybody in LA is an actor, right? So I didn't really want to tell her that. But she would come in and bring us lunch every once in a while, and that's how I kind of got to know her. So she's really nice. Turns out she is cousins with Rita Wilson. Now, you guys know who the actress Rita Wilson is? That's right. She is a very funny actress who also happens to be married to my hero in the acting world, Mr. Thomas Hanks. Tom Hanks, that's right. So his wife is Rita Wilson. And in fact, what's really funny is they actually look quite similar. So it was not a joke like, oh yeah, that's my cousin, where everybody would say that, you know, oh, how can I prove it, right? But she told me about Rita and Tom's wedding when she was there and how she danced with John Candy and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So she was really nice. And I was kind of pitching to her, look, here's the thing. I told her exactly what I've been telling all you guys. You know, I told her my pursuits. I told her I really don't fit in because I'm not like this guy that's trying to live my craft and I just want to just be this artist. I just want to make people laugh and I want to be an actor. I want to be on a sitcom. And I'm not asking for a whole lot in the sense of like what everybody else is coming in. I just want to find a way to get paid to make people laugh without being a comedian, right? I'm not a stand-up comic. So I told her about what I was pursuing. And here was the cool thing. Now, wait till you hear what a perfect setup this could be. So she tells me, well, I happen to be an agent. How can that happen? I moved to this company down in South Central from Newport Beach, and the girlfriend, soon-to-be wife of one of the owners, is an agent? How perfect. Then she says, I only represent 10 people at a time. So I was like, ugh. Well, you just wiped me out, because if you only have 10 people to choose from, why would you choose me? But then she said something that I want to believe is the truth. And she said 80% of actors get represented and get jobs based on their personality. And then their talent carries them to the next job. But really, during an audition process, if it's between you and another guy and you both could handle the job, it comes down to your personality. How well will you get along with everybody, director, all that fun stuff. So she said, look, I've been around you for a few weeks now. I see your personality. You're a funny guy. I hear you making people laugh downstairs in the office. And my comedy actually worked pretty well there. Made a lot of good friends there. It was a lot of fun. But I got to, make everybody laugh, and she was around it, so she knew that I had it in me. And she actually liked my headshots. And I was like, cool. But she said, you know what? I'm going to pay to have you get more headshots. How cool is this? Now I got Tom Hanks' cousin, Rita Wilson's cousin, telling me she wants to be my agent. She's going to pay for my headshots, and it just keeps getting better. Now, here's the next thing to happen. Then she says to me, you know what? It's really hard to get in the unions. Now, you know that, right, Larry? And I'm like, well, of course I do. I understand the full catch-22. Can't get a job without an agent. Can't get an agent unless you've had a job. We all know that. That's the way it is. So she says to me, I think I have a way to get you in all 3 agents. I'm going to pull some strings. Because you've got the talent. We can get you in there, and I'll be able to send you out on big auditions. Wow. I was beside myself. Now, here was the one little it wasn't really a glitch, but her boyfriend was like, why are you telling him all of this stuff? I need him working in the office. He needs to be, look, he's managing all these people. I can't have him leaving, coming and going, which, you know what, that makes sense, right? You know, from a business owner, and it's like, that's what's the problem with LA. Everybody is an actor or a writer or a musician, and nobody that's working regular jobs, with low pay, minimum wage jobs, are really there because, hey, this is what I want to do. They're there because they've got other things going on, right? They're either going to school, trying to be in the entertainment, arts, and all that fun stuff. So I really understood why he would be upset. But then she goes, oh, come on, Joel. Listen, he's young. He's trying to make it. He does great work here. He'll make up the work. And I even told him, I said, look, if I got to go out and audition, I'll come back and I'll work the extra hours, because we're all paid hourly. With the line of work I was in, there was a time constraint to getting this data in, because people were subscribing. Now remember, this is before the internet and before websites. They were called bulletin board systems, for you old people that know what those are, where you dial in with your old little dial-up modem, like in the movie War Games, and that's how you post and retrieve data. So I worked in real estate foreclosures, and we would key in real estate foreclosure listings every day. And then people would pay my company money to download these files with all the data so they can go out and buy real estate foreclosures. So it's kind of a hip little business that was starting up in the early 90s. It's kind of a cool thing, especially since we didn't have websites and all the technology we do now to do that. So it was it had to get done quick. But still, he was like, okay, we'll give it a shot. So I was very, very excited. I drove home at the end of that day beside myself. I just couldn't believe what was about to happen. I was just like, going, I'm actually going to make it now. I am actually going to make it. So I got home, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ruin it if I tell my roommates. It's like, look, I'm not going to say anything to you guys. I'm just going to come home. It was another day at work, because what I wanted to do was be able to just, that old saying, the proof is in the pudding kind of a thing. Well, I wanted to make sure that I had something to show those guys. It wasn't just, hey, look, I could do this. I wanted to really let them know what was going on. So I was excited. Okay, so I'm looking at my little acting journal here, and I realized that what I just talked to you guys about was from March 1st, 1992. My next entry was January 30th, 1993. Almost, it's like 10 months later. So what happened during those 10 months? Nothing. Nothing happened. Here's what exactly happened, actually. Anula gave me a phone number. I gave her a bunch of headshots with my resume. She gave me a phone number at her office to call every day to see what I'm being, quote, I'm holding up my finger quotes, submitted for, so that I would be able to know what kind of things I might be auditioning for. Because remember, getting submitted doesn't mean anything. You need to get called in after you get submitted to audition, right? So it was things like, I don't know, just local TV shows. It was all non-union stuff. So for about, I don't know, a few weeks, I had done this where I called every Monday, nothing. Every Monday, nothing. Oh, maybe this movie. And no advancement happened in getting me in the unions, and that's not even really a big deal. I didn't really care about that. All I wanted to do was audition for somebody. I would tell every agent this that I would meet. If you give me a chance, I promise I'll make you money. That's all. Just give me a chance. You know what? I know I'm funny. I know I can do this job. It's just like with anything. Just give me an opportunity. So I didn't even really care about being in the unions. I figured I would get in the unions just like everybody else, doing good work. So I stopped getting calls, return calls, the company folded that I worked for. That was the big clincher. The 1992 Los Angeles disturbances happened, and when that happened, the building I was in was affected by it. Right around the corner, where I used to get my coffee in the morning at 7-Eleven, it burned down, and a lot of other things were getting burned down, and it got to the point where it wasn't safe to be in that neighborhood. So they packed up and moved. But all the lawyers, all the investors pulled out. And by doing that, I lost contact of Anula. Anula and Joel got married, and I never talked to either one of them again. And that was a real bummer for me. I was like, you got to be kidding me. What I just told you guys, didn't that sound exciting when I was all excited? I got excited myself, thinking like, hey, maybe it really did happen. Well, it didn't happen. Got close though, and it was a big bummer. And it just goes to show you that, you know what, there's no easy way into the business, and that's pretty obvious. You guys already know that. But how many stories have I told you guys already where someone promised me something without me having to do anything, without me having to show my work, or without having to back up any of my talents? You know, everybody, right? Everybody that I've talked to has given me, you know, the treatment and saying, okay, we're going to do this for you, and they don't do anything. But what does happen though, is that, yeah, there are people that get in, they get a break, as they say, right? But it always comes from doing some type of work. It's not just I was sitting around, okay? And I know we're going to hear stories all over the place about that happening to people. So I kind of took a break from the acting thing. I kind of took it as a sign, like, you know what? You're just not in the right place. You got too much going on. Thanks again for listening. Don't be disappointed. Someday I will get a break, and you'll hear all about it on a future podcast. So take care, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.